You should go in the middle.
You want him here?
Yeah, you go there. Hi, guys.
Go ahead and sit down.
Doctor.
I can't sit until you guys do. Okay.
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 Ready?
George Clooney and Alexander Payne, what do you think?
Now we'll stand up and leave. Okay, thank you. These are very comfortable seats.
Woo! Alexander, when you were, you teed up on this movie and you say, let me see, I need an awkward, schlubby, ineffectual, insecure, indecisive person. Right away you just said Clooney. Perfect. Why?
I honestly am hard-pressed to, I was hard-pressed to think of anyone else. He's the right age and the right look, and I wanted to work with him, and he's a great star and a great actor. And the novelist agreed with me that he would be the ideal choice, and that was it.
I mean, is the fact that he was a hybrid character in terms of where he came from important in terms of how you thought about the character?
Well, it's called The Descendants. The part was, from the very beginning, the challenge, of course, was sort of getting into the rhythms of Hawaii, because they really do work it is an island, and it really does work at a very different pace. So it was less about understanding sort of the aristocracy or the heritage as much, although we learned about that, but it was much more about getting into the rhythms of an island culture. And it's a tricky thing. If you've lived in LA for any period of time, or New York or anywhere else, you get on the freeway, and even if there's no one on the freeway, they're going 45 miles an hour. So the first week you're behind them like going, come on, and they're like, hey, shaka, what the?
Where's your aloha spirit?
I know, it takes you a minute to kind of get into these rhythms.
In this instance, you cast somebody who's also been a director and is a fairly achieved one at that. Does it help to have another director around?
I've had this twice with Jack Nicholson and now with George Clooney, and in both times the experience was extremely positive, because they are much, as directors themselves, they're much more attuned to getting a sense of what film I have in mind and helping me do that. It's nothing but help. And also, they're very malleable, cooperative actors, very eager to please, because they have been in my shoes.
And they know how troublesome.
I think now that we're here at the New York Times, we can tell them. I directed this film. Time it got out.
Seeing as directors make such malleable, lovely actors, maybe your turn should come. Sidney Pollack, John Huston, there's a huge
He
George
said he'd
Clooney.
do it.
I would do it, and I think I'd be okay if well cast, but I would never cast myself in anything. At least I don't think I've been right for any parts in my film so far.
But
not even cute little cameos.
You've cast yourself.
That's because I've been right for things.
When it comes to the crew stuff, you did pitch in a little bit on the softball, right, George?
Oh, I was the all-star on the softball team.
You tried out for pro baseball, so the idea.
Yo, I didn't make it.
It doesn't matter. You jacked like they moved in because the old guy was up to bat, and you just jacked it over their head.
It was fun. Usually when you have the crew softball game, the last people chosen are sort of the actors, because actors in general, you're just supposed to look like you can play baseball, and wear the right uniform, and it was fun because. Yeah, that was a fun softball game. I knocked 4 out of the park. That made me feel good.
Did they eventually make adjustments and start to?
No, there's only so much you can do before you knock it out of the park.
Right. So you can't stop the Clooney.
It's impossible.